mọi người tới đây để tham dự open house của Scodix hả? Dạ. Đây là phái đoàn của Việt Nam của hùng hậu hả? Đây là ngay tại thực hiện ngay tại Shenzhen các bạn. Đây Shenzhen packaging. Đây là nguyên một cái xưởng, đây là nhà xưởng các bạn. Cái máy in đó là được để bên trong, máy in được để bên trong, nhưng mà đây là cái xưởng á, đây là cái đơn sản xuất á, của Shenzhen. Hôm nay là có cái lễ open house của Scodix và tổ chức ở đây. Ok ha, bây giờ mình đi vào ha. Đây là một đơn vị họ đầu tư cái máy Shenzhen đời mới nhất và khổ lớn nhất. Ok, đây mở vào bạn thấy Hey, morning.
Hey, morning.
Hey, morning.
Where's the
Yeah,
inbox?
yeah. I think I waiting for them. They will come. Đây là Shenzhen packaging ở tại Thẩm Quyến các bạn. Nhà xưởng đẹp không? Ở trên trần nè, đó. Họ bố trí những cái đèn, con bướm. Rất đẹp ha. Đây là cái phòng triển lãm. Không photo, không cho photo à?
Summer， 我是深圳巨进的董事长助理。然后首先呢，非常欢迎各位来自亚太区的同行朋友们莅临巨进，来参加施高迪小分的一个开放日的活动。深圳巨进呢，一直以来都是致力于发展外贸业务，主要呢是涵盖了3大板块，像化妆品、洋酒跟奢侈品。那么在今年呢，我们也开始部署到国内的烟包业务，并计划在明年呢进一步拓展国内的酒包业务。创新跟研发呢，一直以来都是巨进发展的一个核心驱动力。我们现在呢有3大，就是那个创业，就是那个研发中心，一个呢就是数码研发，然后工艺研发以及我们的结构研发。对，并且呢，我们的研发团队现在是有100个人。在印刷包装的一个生产制造方面呢，在座的各位很多都是巨进的前辈，有非常多值得我们学习的地方。所以呢，我们也希望在未来能够有更多的机会跟大家进行进一步的交流。谢谢。Okay, now I will speak it in English version. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Summer. So I'm the assistant to the president at Jujing. Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for joining us today at Jujing for the Scodix and complete open house. So for years, Shenzhen Jujing has been focused on the foreign trade and mainly in cosmetics, luxury goods, and spirits. And this year we have been branching out into the domestic tobacco packaging industry, and also we are planning to expand our market in the domestic liquor packaging industry. Yeah, research and innovation has been always at the core of Jujing's growth. And currently we have 3 R&D centers: digital printing, process R&D, and structured designing. So, and also we have a team of professional R&D team with over 100 employees. Yeah, when it comes to the printing and the packaging manufacturing, so many of you are the industry veterans. So there's a lot we can learn from you. So we're very excited for the opportunities in the future that we can have a further communication. Thank you. Now it's the show time for the Scodix and the Como. Enjoy.
谢谢上好，在这里衷心感谢各位中国的这个客户同行过来参加巨进好。今天的安排呢是首先刚刚说的这个他是负责主要的全球的代理商的这个互动，再来是小分中国市场的代理商，所以我们今天他来上海是这个会这个巨进的老板叫魏涛魏先生助理那么今天呢，我们首先听一下我们安排，先参观工厂。那我们参观工厂的时候，我们有一个 不能拍照。好，这样不能手就天天摸它的东西，因为手指还可以产生一些印刷上的问题，或者后胶的问题。那么第三个是我们的路线呢是从Shenzhen从2楼跑完接见以后跑到1楼，然后再从到2楼。因为人多，我们走楼梯不走电梯了。然后呢，英语组会英语组，普通话会普通话，普通话我们翻译的时候怎么乱七八糟的，好吧？跟普通话的跟我，英语组的跟他，好吧？那我们首先直接从英语组先走
可以啊，然后我们也安排了一些同事带着大家一起，因为怕人太多了绕不周。
那李老师有跟在英语组。
安琪，英语组的，我们这边我们先带外国朋友先，我们上2楼开始看场。Hello everyone, I will lead the English group for the factory tour. This week, please.
Oh yeah.
No photo.
Người ta đang bồ video lại chụp mấy chai nước con tục ra kìa người ta biết chụp đẹp
Hai bao quá. Ủa cho thiếu có con thiếu bình đó. Thiếu bình nữa. Em nghĩ tao mày.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the tour. That's the first time I've seen Jujin in its entirety. Normally I end up in that room, in the Scodix room, and I don't go anywhere else. But that's an amazing fact. That really is an amazing fact.
Yeah.
And I know Jujin as well. They have offices in New York. They have offices in California. So it's a big global company. And we're proud to be associated with such a company like Jujin. And some of the things we're going to show you and what you've seen out there is just amazing, and how Scodix can turn a plain CM sheet into something beautiful and luxury very simply. Very simply. We've got to be, I've got about half an hour or something like that, maybe a little bit longer, of some narrative of Scodix, where we came from, what we do. I hope I'm speaking slow enough, because I don't know how much English you understand. But if you've got a question, please just ask. Okay, stop me. It's not I don't want to lecture you or anything like that. So, just a quick introduction. My name is Mark Nixon. Okay, so I joined Scodix way back in 2011, something like that. When we were quite a small company. We were also with Iran at the back. I think Iran was number 3 employee. Were you? Yeah. So Iran was the 3rd employee. And so we've had the real honour to drive a company from zero to where we are today, and it's such a good feeling to be part of that momentum, you know, and we love the company and what it does, but that growth is so attractive, you know, you just keep going, and most of my role is spent in the US, and so I sell sort of Western Europe and US, and I look after global sales, so any sales of Scodix that happens comes through myself, and so I see such an array of customers, and it's so beautiful to see big like Jujin, and very small companies that change their organization. And I'll give you the comparison. We deal with GPI, which is Graphic Packaging International, which is a $24 billion packaging organization, right down to a guy that I sold 3 weeks ago in LA, who's got 6 employees, and he bought a B2 half-size Scodix, 6 employees. Because he said the only way you can compete is to be different, and that's what some of the presentation talks about. So we deal with $23 billion businesses down to, I think this guy's only doing about $1 million, $1.1 million, something like that. but he's got a trajectory, a growth path. And that's what I want to try to share with you about where Scodix fits and how you can leverage some of the advantages. Right, let's see if I can get this working. Okay, we can. Right, when I start a presentation in a foreign place, in a different area, and I present all over the world, I love to find out about where I am, right? Because, by the way, the Chinese are not going through this because they know it anyway, right? So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about two places. First China, and then about Shenzhen, where we are. And there are some amazing facts about this location. So let's look at it from China's point of view, right? Let's start there. As of middle of 23, it's the second most populated country in the world with 1.4 billion citizens. This is an enormous country, and the bigger one is just fractionally is India. I think they're catching you up though. 1.5. So listen, you've got to get going, guys. You've got to keep keep the energy going.
Don't worry, that's not.
So 1.4 billion citizens in this country. If you place all of the railroads of China, it circumnavigates the globe twice around the globe. Some amazing facts. Think about it. Twice around the globe. That's somewhere like about 48,000 kilometers, something like that. This is an enormous country. It has over 300 variants of languages. 300 variants of their languages. Can you imagine? How do you I don't know how you process that. And here's a funny fact. Every panda, you know what pandas are, the black and white, yeah? Every one of them belong to China. Everyone belongs to China except two. And they're in Mexico City. Don't ask me how they got there. They lost their way, but they're there. Ice cream was discovered in China. Didn't know that. 4,000 years ago. Not sure anywhere today. And you know, China builds a skyscraper every 5 days. Every 5 days, another skyscraper is completed. It takes them on average. The quickest one they ever built was a 52-floor skyscraper. It took them 15 days. 15 days from nothing to 57. It's just incredible. And you can see it when you're around how they build them. So an amazing. And here's the really thing that blew my mind. For as big as China is, there's one time zone. One time zone. In the west of the country, sunrise is 10 a.m. I don't know how that works from a farming perspective. It means you must be doing night shift in farming to actually make it work. It's a very ancient place. 2.1 million years ago, they found some stone tools that originate from 2.1 million years ago. This is quite an incredibly old part of the world. And at the same time, they found a sealed bronze pot of soup. True story. They found the soup, but it was 2,400 years ago. I'm not sure what it was. I'm not sure what the flavour was. But they found a lot out there in terms of archaeology. 57 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, second to Italy. Italy's got two more UNESCO sites. So there's a huge amount of history here. And the Great Wall of China is 13,000 miles long. Can you imagine building a wall 13,000 miles long? And that was to keep the north from the south way back in the day. There we go, I talked about 19 days, sorry, not 15, 19 days. And now, a little bit about Shenzhen, quickly go through Shenzhen, where you are today. Shenzhen is China's 7th most populous city. So although it's big, it's the 7th. And it was established in 1979. So in 1979, it was swamp and farmland. 40 years ago, there was nothing here. Now you start to see the scale of how they build. And how quickly they do it. In 4 decades, it grew by 20 million people. The growth is phenomenal. Not sure what's happening there. Oh, got a freeze. Ooh, that's interesting. Here we go. It's known as the Chinese Silicon Valley. Okay, and it's one of the most affluent Chinese cities where you are today. And it's measured by this. Shenzhen had a GDP of 420 billion with a per capita of 26,000. So each human in this city is generating $26,000, and Beijing is only 17. So actually, this has grown in 40 years to be the capital, really, of energy and manufacturing. It's a mega city. When you combine it with Guangzhou, Foshan, and Guangdong, it's 48 million people. And by the way, when you drive between here, and here, there's no gap. It's just continuous city between. So the metroplex is huge. 48 million people. Okay. So there's a few facts about where we are. It just gives you a little bit more something to look at. Scodix is a company, just very quickly, we'll just run through our company. For as much as, that's good, okay. Somebody's jumped into my presentation. Wow, how did that happen? That looks like Louis' presentation. Somebody up here is trying to overcome that one. They've gone on Wi-Fi, I think they must have done it around. I know I'm coming straight into HDMI, so they must have bombed on the top. Sorry guys, I don't know how to bomb this.
You're used to it.
But they're coming here, they're coming through the screen, so well, maybe that's it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you think now.
That always fixes.
Yeah, unplug it, start it.
Yeah.
So, where I was, sorry, 128 employees. So we've got a big name. If you think about Scodix globally, most people are using it as a word, let's Scodix that, let's Scodix this. We're 128 employees. So growing, but 128. We were founded in 2007. First machine that reached the market in 2010, and went public in 2021 on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. So we're over $200 million in sales, 436 now installations worldwide, about that sort of number. 41 patents. It's an economical solution, which I'll come to briefly. 7 times more sustainable. I'll touch on this because it's very important when you deal with brands. And some of you around in this room are dealing with big brands. If you do, the first thing they talk about is the sustainability and the proof of it. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. And we're what we regard as disruptive technology. And why do I use that word, disruptive technology? McKinsey, all of the consulting companies actually use this phrase, disruptive. And it's when you change something by a factor of 100 plus. So it's either 100 times cheaper, it's either 100 times faster, or it's 100 times better for the economy or the ecology, etc. If you can reach those things, it's called disruptive technology. Now, interesting, quick mathematics. Scodix is around about 2,300 times faster than the traditional. So I think we qualify as disruptive in that one. We founded Scodix originally, Ellie and Kobe, two engineers who were in HP, realized that actually we tried to solve, if you're going to digitize anything, you'll digitize the longest process, right? Because that's where digital really plays. When you think of print, from putting the first idea on the screen to sending it outside the factory, the longest process generally is in post-press, it's after you've printed. Because if you look at foiling, there's an average make ready of between 45 minutes and 3 hours, sometimes 7 hours. That's a long process. Printing offset is, you can make ready in, 10 minutes, something like that. So we're trying to digitize the longest process. And when you look at it, if you look at the traditional process, I'll walk you through all these quickly. This is very typical of what happens in a traditional process. You go from the ordering the die. Some people make their own dies, but you order the die, and it takes you 2 days before you get line up the sheet. Because most delivery of dies is a day and a half, depending. So if you take that process from start to finish, it's about 2 days. Now, if you say, well, I'm already getting the dice coming in, it's still a process of around about 8 hours, something like that. So we're trying to look at that as a process step. And all this is exactly what they do, and I'll show you a quick video of it before, don't do it again.
chuẩn bị khuôn
Who's
và
coming in?
Đây là truyền thống á.
truyền thống phương pháp là ép nhũ
He's done it again.
để làm khuôn, lên khuôn chân chỉnh.
Iran, would you mind going down to the second floor and telling Louis that I think he's bombing it on the Wi-Fi. I think that's his computer. Can you just see? So that's the. Here we go. Now Scodix, by comparison, has a dramatically less amount of processes. First, you set up the press, as you know. Secondly, you run production. There is no ordering or any setup or any heat generation or any register or anything like that. So we've taken a 13, 14 step process to 2. So this is where we start to play, and this is where the economics start to count. Is that production?
Scodix thì chỉ có 1 tiếng đồng hồ thôi.
Our statement is quite clear, and I want to focus on one word in all of this. Right? We are the world's largest digital provider solution. We are the largest. Depends how you measure it, of course. There he is. Is you? No, it's working, but I'm okay. But somebody keeps coming in on the Wi-Fi. Somebody keeps jumping in my presentation. Is it you? But there's a big word there in the middle, industrial. And I want to concentrate on that word because Scodix set out many years ago to build a very robust, reliable machine. Because we wanted to sell it to GPI, we wanted to sell it to all the Shutterfly, the Vista prints, people who produce 24/7. Okay, so we didn't want it to be a digital engine where it did one shift.
Yeah.
We wanted it to do 3 shifts. So you can start getting your money back. We are the world's largest digital provider, and we are the world's largest industrial digital provider. So we've achieved that, and we're going to continue to grow as I'll show you the products become more wider and broader. Now we supply all over the world. APJ's been successful, this is where we are today. There's more than that here now. But we sell all over, we are direct in these countries. In EMEA we're direct, Israel we're direct, and these other 2 we're indirect. So we go through channels and distribution companies. So they help us to distribute our product. I wanted to share this with you because this is, I'm proud of these figures, by the way, and not many companies show these figures. I'm not frightened by these figures, I'm actually proud. So every one of our machines globally, nearly every one of our machines globally, we are tracking their behavior, their breakdown, the glitches, the software, the hardware, all the component parts. We measure every single electronic beat from those machines, and it goes into a central bank system where we're analyzing it all the time. And it's really important when I use the word industrial, because what you see here is a range of our products from start to finish, okay, in terms of when we amalgamate all of the machines outside in the world, we're 327 days between proactive or reactive calls. What that means is, just to explain, if you get a fault with your machine, whether it's a fault, whether you're just doing maintenance, you won't see an engineer or a part for 327 days on average.
365 ngày để anh hoạt động suốt 3
That's a long time. Now you know why Vista have got 14 Scodixes, Shutterfly have got 8 and they've just only done 3.
Hoạt động liên tục.
Because they stay
cái tính hiệu quả của nó là hoạt động liên tục, nó không có ngừng nghỉ.
And so this platform that we're going to show you today, this platform is 2013 was the first one around? So in 2013 we created the platform. It's the same platform today as it was then, but we do a lot more on it. Why am I saying it? Because when you have a platform and you continue with that platform, you drive through reliability. You take out all of the parts, the spare things that don't work, and you re-engineer them and put them in. So this is a very mature platform, is my point. So we have a long reliability history. It's the same thing, but a slightly different curve on that. I want to share with you who buys Scodix, okay? So you get an idea about where you guys can fit into this. First one, McGowan's. He's point of display, point of sale. So this guy does Guinness. He's in Dublin, and he does all of the e-flutes, stand-up boards, and he does a lot of packaging as well. So you see, and this was a typical example, he's got a Landa over here, he's got a Hycon digital cutter, and he's got a Scodix right in the middle of it. So that's the kind of way he produces. Now he Scodixes onto e-flute directly. There is no liner. He just goes straight onto the e-flute, and the Scodix is able to run on e-flute, F flute, and most of the flutes, what beyond E is too thick for us. So when we're talking about thick E flute, it'll go through the Scodix. So that's Mal. Hudson, Salt Lake City. These guys he's direct mail, so it's very different than the first one. You see where we differ. Direct mail packaging, 45 million revenue. He has 2 landers. He has web presses as well for direct mail, and he's got the B1 Scodix, the big Scodix one in there. Printed Easy, UK. I think we spoke about this guy last night. Probably, no, actually, it is the most profitable business I've ever seen in print. And I've been in 40 years. I've been in print 40 years. This guy makes more money than any other company I've ever come across. I won't share, well I did share with you, but I won't share company what the numbers are, but it is way higher than anything else I've ever seen. And he does it in a very explicit way. It's about adding value, and Scodix is a big part of that company. He has a revenue of $15 million only, and I'll let you guess what money he's making, but he's a young guy who's very switched onto the internet, and is very clear about his pricing and how he gets it. So Scodix is a big part of that, how he adds value to the print. And then you go to the other end of it, publishing. In Italy, we've got accounts, that just run millions and millions and millions of books. Scodix enhances books. So we have in Italy. We have an online packaging company in Italy that has Scodix as a centerpiece of their production. So these guys, you can have 1 box, or you can have 20,000 boxes, and you can embellish all of them, some of them, none of them. But these are online, so they get their money up front. Very successful business, actually, in Italy. I put this one in there because this is the other end of the scale. So this is a company in Paris, and they deal with all of the Parisian brands. So all of the Chanel, the fashion, very, very high quality. This guy's got 8, is it 8? I think it is. No, 20 hot foiling stack presses. So he has 20 hot foilings, and he's got 2 Scodixes. And he's put it right in the middle of them, and he said, this is the future of where we're headed, because this will enable me to get the right quality, along with all of the other things that I need to do. So it's a much quicker way for him to do it. So it's interesting, when we start dealing with these people, we start feeling good, because we think, you know what, the quality is there. And now it's about making it easy for him to produce what he needs to do every day. And then we got books in Slovakia. This guy's got 10, 12 million sheets on his press, volume, industrial. Web to print in Germany, Shutterfly, there's one, it's a big one. They just ordered another 3 half-size presses. They're going to produce 68 million greeting cards between October 1 and December 20th. I think that's when their peak cuts. So think about that. 65 million greeting cards are being done in one customer in the States with 8 presses. Vista, we know they've got 14 half-size presses, again, web to print. Web to print, this guy started with printing Scodix on magnets. So we can go on to magnets. If it's a thick magnet, just Scodix straight on top of it. You can put it on fridges, save the dates. And then he got into wedding stationery, and now he's got 2 Scodixes. Took him 3-4 years to get there. And then Jujin, which is where you are today. And you've just seen some of this stuff, which is so much Scodix in this. This is a big market in the States, by the way, the cannabis packaging in Denver. Huge amount of Scodix. The guy in LA I just spoken about is cannabis packaging. It's big because they like the gold and silver and stuff like that. So anyway, some of the brands we deal with, pretty clear. Our product range, we have 3 B2s and 2 B1s. And the clear difference is on this side is we do a B2 with a pallet feed and pallet out. We do an SHD version, which I'll come on to, and we do the basic version. And the same here, all of the B1s are pallet feed in and out. But we've got an SHD one there, which is high definition. And I'll talk about SHD. Right, what does it do? What do these machines do? Well, you might know this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, just to make sure that everybody's got the grip of it. We do applications SHD, which is high definition. And these are micron heights down here, between 8 and 90 microns. So it can go thick and it can go thin. But this is very high definition and talks about our micro embossing, and I'll give you some samples of it. our sense, which is clear polymer with height. So it's when you sense it, your fingers feel it. And so that's one of our, where we started. We do foil, as you know, high and low. We do spot, straightforward spot varnish. We do that very flat, 5 and 25 microns. We do Scodix metallic, and I'll show you the beetle, and I'll show you this earlier on. This is metallic sheet. Okay, we just reverse it out. We put cells on it, and it reignites it. I'll explain it a bit more later on this afternoon. We do variable foiling. Each sheet can be unique and different. That's how Shutterfly do 65 million greeting cards, because they're all unique pretty much. Everyone's different, unique. We do braille. We're now reaching the braille heights of 500 micron. We're doing it by rotating the bed around, and we're just like a 3D printer. Just keep putting layers on top. We do crystals. We chamfer the edges. So Hallmark cards and people like that put gems on cards. We do that. Glitter. Dry glitter. It doesn't rub off in your hands. It's embedded in the foil. And there's casting cure as well, which is the holographic. Okay. How we image it? I'm just going to take you through this very briefly. Don't want to spend too much because I'll show it to you later on. We have a feeder. We have a bank of heads in here. 33 for B1, 24 for B2. We have a foil station, and we have a stacker. I'll go in detail when we're in the press room out there, because that's what it really matters when it's running. Okay. I want to tell you a few things what makes us different from others that are out there. Okay, there's some key elements here, but the first one is we are a multi-polymer company. And I want to spend just a fraction of your time and your ears on this, because it's super important. Every surface in print has a dyne level, has a tension in it. I'll give you 2 examples. Offset printing has a tension of around about 36 to 40 dyne, D-Y-N-E. Xerox, the toner, is 24 dyne. What does that matter to you? Well, actually, if you drop a liquid on 24, it sticks up. It doesn't relax. If you put the same polymer on a 40, it relaxes. So you've got 2 physical things that you can't overcome. Now, every other competitor that does digital embellishment have one polymer. Good luck. Because what you've got to do is work out what speed, what heat, whether it needs laminate or it doesn't need laminate, to try to get the right result. We make polymers suit surface tension of the sheet. It's a fundamental difference. The second reason why we do it is because nobody can predict where the future is, right? So if you're going to spend $1 million, whatever it is, on a press, and the market switches with a new inking technology, we know we can go to polymer and put it in your machine. Because we have multiple polymers that can go into machines. If you have one polymer, you're done. You're stuck. So your investment is more safe with this technology, this philosophy, than just one. Right, 4 points of the press that I want to just focus on now. SHD, RSP, PAS, and everything. I'm sorry with the acronyms, okay, but it's the only way you can kind of describe it in a short way. Let's take SHD. I want to show you a quick video if the sound is on, that is. It is. So just a short video, which is easier to explain it by images than it is by talking. So before SHD, we were imaging as best as we could, trying to get the fine detail. And we realised to get to packaging, you have to have 4-point text, reverse, 5-point text, reverse, and solid. And the only way we can achieve this is by taking every edge of every image and dropping 1 droplet on that edge, not 2 or 3 or 4 that we used to. So in other words, we're defining the edge by less droplets. You can see down here. This edge is here is now got less polymer there. And we can freeze it there. We can freeze it with LED so it doesn't run away. So now you're able to really get to that 5-point text, 4-point text. This is a game changer for us. Because before that, I could not seriously go to these guys in here and say, I can do your quality. And the guy in Paris, I couldn't do his quality. Until we came out with this product, SHD. And I'll show you some examples when we're in the press hall of the kind of fine details we get to. Okay, this was an interesting job actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip and just skip through a few of these. This is interesting about hot foil when you have to do the opposites. I know some of you in the room, hot foil today, you do it, you do it every day. And you know that when you've got to reverse out on a solid and hold the opposite, good luck with that. Because that's a lot of underpacking or packing and moving in, playing and trying to figure it. We can do it very, very clearly, very easily, because the system does it, digitally does it. So we're not playing with different dyes and pressures, so it's very easy for us. Second technology I want to talk about is register. We register in three ways. You can do elements inside the print, you can do corners, or you can do our favourite, our uppers, okay? And uppers where we start, and it's still probably the most reliable and best way of registering the sheet. And what do we do? What does it mean? Well, actually, every sheet has its unique register. So we're measuring, when the sheet comes into the cameras will then determine where the register on that sheet is. Especially when you print digitally, it bends, because you're imaging at 120, 140 degrees. So that heat bends the sheet. And so as that sheet gets bent, we bend the register of our press to match it. Each sheet. We do it on the fly. And this is a great test. Challenge me if you want on this one. Not today though, because I haven't got this one with me, but challenge me on this one if you want. Because we can cover a sheet with a red foiled cross. We'll take the same sheet, put it back through, we'll put a gold cross in the middle. And this is tiny, this is not big areas. So this is true register. Now if I asked you to do it on your presses, your plans, you'd struggle. All of us would, it's not, it's hard to get register. Why is it that 80%, 90% of all hot foil sheets are B2 or B3? Because when you look at the one, you can't register it. Well, we can. It's very easy for us to do top left, bottom right, and get registered. We're a cold foil process, very important. Cold foil, we're not hot foil. We're not hot foil because the heat you generate is a problem in many ways. One, the ecology is not great. And two, the energy you need to put the right heat into the sheet is a lot. But thirdly, heat is a problem because what it does is it bends print yet again. It makes the downstream process even harder. So we went cold. Last key point I want to say, this was a game changer at Drupa. This is when we released MLE, which is multi-layer embellishment. It does two things. It helps us sculpt, put real detail and sculpture in it, but what it also does, it allows us to run on uncoated media. Now this was a game changer for everybody because I think we supplied 12 presses in Drupa based on this technology alone. So they were existing users who gave us back their presses, thank you, we sold them already, but we took it back, the old ones, and they wanted new ones so they could do uncoated. 40% of the world's paper is uncoated. 40%. So you can see I've got a bigger market now. I'll skip the video because I'm not mindful of the time. But it's basically about multi-layer. We do not let go of the sheet. So let me explain. If you've got a conveyor system, you're taking a sheet from A to Z. It's on a conveyor 9 out of 10 in print because it's the cheapest way actually to convey it from one to the other is the cheapest way. We put it on metal trays, and I'll explain when we go to the press room why. But the advantage is also now that the tray can rotate like this without letting go of the sheet. So now we can build images, and that's what you're seeing basically over here. You'll see this one. Actually, I think I've got an example of it. You may have seen it last night, I think. Yeah, this one. Those of you that looked at this particular image up here, the detail in that is just amazing. So, you know, I think you might have seen it, but at the top, rosette up there. Now to try and do that traditionally is probably 2 or 3 grand. Dyes, time, everything like that, that's for us just 5 passes. Yeah, you can kind of like see it there. Kind of. Okay. So those are the 4 technologies. From a cost perspective, from an economics perspective, I don't have to tell you that dyes are expensive. I don't have to tell you that labour and make ready is expensive. We don't have die cost, and we don't have much labour either when you look at it from a make-ready point of view. And yet, The technology of analog has been around for, well, the Egyptians started actually, were banging gold foil into papyrus. It hasn't changed much. Heat and pressure. There's only so far you can go with heat and pressure. And you run out of abilities to hone it and make it more economic. So 13 stages to 4, you've seen it really wrong. That's where our mathematics comes in a lot. Right, productive. We're all suffering with this, by the way, which is everybody wants it yesterday, and everybody wants to change it last minute, and everybody needs it now. And this is the Amazon behaviour. What Bezos managed to do to us is kill us. Because what he's done is he's got this now demand, and everybody's got to have it tomorrow, right? And the same with print. You haven't got 1 day, 2 days to order and bear it, but if you have, you kind of burn it elsewhere. The point being is that if you look at a couple of things, brands are also increasing SKUs. They want more of the product to be different, same product range, but more of it. Make ready. All of this I'm talking about is coming down to more make readies. It's just more make readies. And all the old presses that are out there were not built to make ready. They were built to run 2 million sheets or 100,000 sheets. Not 20,000 of this, 5,000 of that, 2,000 of this. No, it was all long run. So all the machines that are out there today are long run. The world's changing. If you don't change when you continue to do it uneconomically, that's my point about labour. We talked about this one, so I'm going to skip that one. Again, yours is super quick. This one was interesting. I'm going to use this job, okay, because it was the fundamental first job we ran at SHD. When we had SHD, we were looking for the quality. It's a comparison sheet. I haven't got it with me, I do apologise, they've all gone. But what I did was I produced this sheet. Half of this sheet was done Scodix, and half of this same sheet was done analog. And we did it in 3 locations across the world. Okay, and I'm going to give you the averages of what we found. Okay, so challenge me on any of these points if you wish, I'm sure you will. I wanted 2,500 sheets done. One was 6 magnesium dyes in its hot foil. And the second half was Scodix. Hot foil, the average make ready of this job was 4 hours. 5 was in Israel. I think it was 3.5 in America because they had the new bots, the offline register system. And the other one was, I think it was about 4 hours. And they gave up on the register. The reason is there's some of these half moves, incredibly difficult to register. I did make it difficult. I did honestly make it difficult, but it's a job. It's okay. 1,800 sheets an hour is what they managed because they couldn't get the register to hold if they made it any faster. 50 sheets weight, 30 meters of foil was used for setup. When you wind it through these big presses, there's something like 15 meters. And each one of those, by the way, broke one web during production. The one in Israel broke it twice, I think, you remember? I think he broke it twice. And a Scodix, when it was 1 PDF. That was it. We didn't waste any foil, and I'll show you how foil wasted, you know, what we do and how we do it. So all of that, we were running at 900 sheets an hour on this job. So yes, there is a difference between 1,800 and 900 sheets an hour. That I'll grant you. But this is 4 hours of make ready. 4 hours of make ready, they've got 4,000 sheets on the floor. I only need 2,000 for this job, 2,500. My job's done, they're still make ready. That's the economics of something like that. I'm not going to show you that because you all know how to hop forward on that, again, mindful of time. Sustainability, just a quick few things on this, and we learned a massive amount around. You led the project for us from Israel. And one of my best friends works for a small company called Westrock, which is now part of Smurfit, which is now the biggest packaging company in the world, and he leads the European operation. And I spoke to him 2 years ago, John Drennan, check him out, guys, and he said, Mark, don't even talk to me unless you've got an LCA. So the company has to be assessed on what we do and how we do it. I said, John, I'll get an LCA. Iran led the project to get the LCA, and we led it through independent, peer-reviewed companies. It's not cheap. It's $100,000 to even try to get that from the start. It's not cheap. So I took it back and I said, John, there is my LCA. Can I talk to you now? He said, no. No. He said, because can you de-ink or repulp after Scodix? I don't know. How do I find out? He said, well, you've got to run tests. It's the Michigan University in America. Okay. 3 months later, 1 ton of board was consumed to try to prove that we were repulpable. 97-page report later, ticked every box. We are de-inkable, we are repulpable.
At 15%.
At 15% coverage. Give you an idea, this job here is 4.3% coverage. And we did 15% coverage. We over-egged it, we over-committed, because I thought if we fail at 15, we'll try one at 7 and see if we pass the 15. So that was all good. Now here's the interesting thing. So I went back to my friend John at West Rock and said, so what? Now I can do it. He said, great. I said, well, I don't want to talk to you. And he said, why do you not want to talk to me? I said, because you are actually very, very unsustainable when it comes to doing what you do today. Hot foil is ridiculously bad for sustainability. Dreadful, and I'm going to show you why. Because once we did all of the, let me just skip through here. Once we did all of the checks, I wanted one further. And again, I had to get more money from the board. The board weren't very happy with me, but there's something that we found out. We used the same company that did the analysis for us. And we said, now can you measure traditional? Because everybody measures digital and says, can you? We said, look, I measure the old way of doing it. Horrible. This unveiled a lot of things that people didn't even think about. It uses 80% more water than Scodix for a start. And you, by the way, you can't drain it afterwards. If you're going to wash out a dye or you're going to wash out everything like that, you can't just re-drain it. You cannot. 80% more water is used on the traditional. 85% more energy. The bed needs to be 120 degrees minimum. And then when they take a pull, the machine cools down again, and then they need more energy to heat it back up again. So it uses more energy. And it was 86% less carbon. Why? Copper, magnesium, zinc, all of those things that you use has to come from the ground. You have to mine it. You don't mine our product. This is a big saving from sustainability. Now these are not throwaway numbers. We've been to now Lux packs all over the world, and the brands look at this and go, that's the technology I want to be in. I want to claim that I have better sustainability going forward. Most brands, by the way, look at foil and only consider foil as the problem. When the bit that you leave on the sheet is what they think is the problem. That's 1/100th of a hair breadth. 1/100th of a hair, man, not much hair. 1/100th of a hairline is what's left on that sheet. So what are they measuring? That's not the problem. The problem is digging copper out of the ground. Now brands are getting wiser. That's my point. So this took us a lot of energy and a lot of time. Just going back up a couple of points here. Multi-polymer is interesting again. Why? Because we're food safe on some of our polymers. We're green. We've taken TCOs out of all our polymers. So because we're multi-polymer, we can start to develop more things that are more in line with the regulations as they move. Again, it's about multi-polymer, not single polymer. Right, we're bang on time, and this is the last few slides, so apologies. I didn't want to lecture you, but there's some interesting things that I think makes you balance Scodix. Today's jobs, okay? In the time we've got, and it's about an hour and a half, I'm going to probably be in the press for about an hour and a half, or we will together, if I can keep it. I'm going to put 11 passes through. I'm going to put 3 foil changes. I'm going to show you 3 foil changes. Casting cure, which is the holographic, we're going to run that. And I'm going to micro emboss. Now, if I said to you in your factory, any of your factories, you've got an hour and a half to show me that, you'd need about 3 days, I think. I'm exaggerating, but you can understand where I'm coming from. So let me go through these jobs that we've got today. You saw some of them last night. We're going to go on to a transparent stop. So with our new technology and our sensors, we can now go through clear stop, very important for obviously the packaging, and we're going to put just extreme embellishment on that. When you feel that sheet, and I know I think this has been handed around yesterday, but please just pass it to the people that didn't come to dinner. That is 2 passes on that job. So transparent, we're going to run a straightforward whiskey cart. Everybody loves a whiskey cart. We do a lot of this in Scotland. We do a lot of this in America as well on the whiskey. So this is a job that we can't use the original, they won't let us. So we kind of made it almost the same. Well, let me pass that one around the other way. So this has got 2 passes on it. This has got clear UV and it's got embossed foil. Okay, so we're going to run that job as well. Trading cards. Some of you may be into trading cards, maybe you're not. In the US, we've got 8 machines that are doing these all day, every day. Okay, so you'll see some extreme embellishment on this. This is but these are our own designs again. So we produce for, not we, but Fanatics have our presses, Pokemon have our presses. You know, and we've got a bunch of independents around there that feed into all of the Wizards of the Coast. None of this stuff going on in the States. Collectible cards. There's something unique about these ones as well. Look at the numbers, this variable numbering. We solved a massive problem. They were the first time we went into Millennium, which is in North Carolina, they had 40 people in a room picking cards at random to qualify it as randomized numbering. And each one of those cards, they'd pick one of the special ones every now and again and put it in the pack. We can do that now digitally. The software's there to do it, and we did every single sheet will be unique and different. So again, if you'd like to pass that one around. So we'll show you some of these today in production. The next job we're going to do is the metallized board. Underneath here is just metal laminate on top of the board, and we're going to basically we print it black, and what we are going to do then is reverse out where we want the foil, and we drop our spot UV on top, and it just magnates it. It's just a beautiful looking image.
Cái này nó làm trên giấy metallite.
Then we're going to run a champagne job, which is the one that in Paris they love this, and they love this micro emboss here. I think we've handed this one around, but this one is a great job. This is 3 passes, and this one we'll finish up with at the end, and we're going to send it through the press 3 or 4 times to build it up, so you can see how it does what it's supposed to do. Okay, and I won't share with you the running order because we run out of time, but what also you'll see around here, this is the uncoated stocks. So I think we've qualified about 85 stocks to date. We've only had this technology since Drupa, and we keep testing. But most of the major stocks that are uncoated in the world, we haven't had a problem. There are a few where it just sinks. Because think about it, in the traditional way, uncoated wasn't so much of a problem because you're hitting it with heat and pressure. We're putting a liquid on it, and the liquid soaks. So we've had to produce a layer. So the first time round, then it blocks it. And this is amazing because you know how people used to do it as well. They used to flood coat the sheet. To try to block the sheet, they flood coat it. The problem with that is it's uneconomic. It's ecology is one thing, but secondly, it changes the stock, the feel. Now we just spot prime.
Qua nói ví dụ
Call
mà
it
phủ
spot prime. So you can have a look at
giấy
that.
nào như không dán phủ á chị. Không dán phủ nó phải phủ một lớp để mà nó.
The running order, you'll see what we're doing in. I'll just explain it briefly. The running order, we'll run the first layer on this job first, and then we're going to park that job. Why? Because we're going to change the foil. When we change the foil, we'll bring the job back on. So it's a typical production run, where we have a bunch of jobs to run, and you'll run them in sequence, and you'll run maybe half a job here, and you'll put it back when you put the next, because this has got laser foil on it, and there's laser foil on different jobs. So anyway, you'll get the idea about what we're running, but it should take us about an hour and a half to run it in its entirety. So, any questions on, that was a lot, right? I know it's a lot. I was trying to get through it as quick as I could. Yes, sir?
On the sustainability front, right, how do we
justify
metallic boards?
Metallic board.
Like this is a metallic board.
How do you, show me the job, sorry? How do we register it?
How do we qualify this as a
sustainability when you're having a metallized board?
Well, listen, metallic boards exist in the market today. We don't advocate them, and I'll tell you, it's a great question, thanks for asking it. Because we spot metallize. Think about it the other way around.
Yeah.
Today, the only way you can do that is to run a whole metallic sheet. And then you print 98% ink to mask out what you don't want metal.
Yes.
That's pretty bad. What we do is we drop spot metal exactly where you need it. So you can start with a stock, print just a black on top of a sheet, so you now got matte black ink, and then we'll drop the spot code right on top where it needs to be. So actually, ours is far more ecological. But if I came to you and said, I'm going to change your market and you can't use metallic boards anymore, you'd go, no. My customers want you. Okay, I'm showing you there that we can run it.
Đen là sau này nó không in.
But my advice would be
Nghĩa là bình thường
cheaper as
bình
well.
thường như là
Take an
Metallic
ordinary
á,
stock.
hoặc là để màu đen gì
Double
đó,
hit black.
bình thường á là
Okay.
chị muốn làm Metallic
Drop the
đôi khi
Scodix
chị
on
phải
top where you
in
need it,
cả
and then put spot UV on top of the Scodix
Metallic.
foot.
Thì
And
cái
that
này
way
nó
you
dùng
get
lấy
full.
Metallic.
No, would you
Cái
have
giấy
a
này là giấy
solution
Metallic.
to bring the sheen
Nó
onto the
chỉ
paper?
dùng cái Metallic ở chỗ
To
này nó không
bring
in.
the
Sheen,
Vậy
that's
không cần
like
in mực
the
Metallic.
aluminum,
Cái giấy là giấy
the
Metallic.
metallized sheen onto the paper.
Not yet.
Nó
No.
dùng cái
It's a good
Metallic của
point.
giấy.
I don't think we can, because
Để
some of
làm
the
cái
black that you
Metallic.
see and some of the other colours
Thế là
are
vẫn phải kém làm
metallic.
metallic bình thường.
Okay, let
Giấy
me answer it
Metallic.
differently.
Giấy
Great
Metallic.
question as well.
Giấy
I'll tell you
Metallic.
what I would do. I would spot foil Scodix, and then I'd run it back through the press to put the colour on top of the foil.
Cái phần này là in metallic không?
Cái này chị in để nó ấy là
So
còn cái giấy là giấy
there's
Metallic.
one
Giấy
brand
là
in
giấy
the UK and
Metallic,
one
chỉ
in
in cái màu đen này để che cái
America.
Metallic
Started
thôi.
to UV print on
Chứ
top
còn
of
nó là
Scodix
cái
foil.
nền để là nền Metallic.
So you
Nền
don't
của
need,
nó.
you don't need to use the
Nền giấy là giấy Metallic. Nên thành ra những cái ánh đen này là những cái chỗ mà chị không có in
So
đen.
now, if you're running a
Nó
like
dùng cái
UV
nền đó
on
là
top
Metallic
or even an
của
aqueous in some cases,
cái
you can do
giấy,
it.
chứ nó không có dùng một
Ink or
Metallic.
soy ink. As long as the layer is thin enough,
Không có
and
dùng
it doesn't
Metallic.
liberate all of the
Cái giấy
Scodix
Metallic
shine.
là cái giấy bồi,
You'll get the
giấy
same
mà
effect.
nó
Đây là giấy metallic.
giấy Metallic.
So there's two people in the world I know that do it. It's very new to us,
Mực
but
này
that's what I
nó
understand.
không có
where
dùng
you're
Metallic,
going.
giấy này là giấy Metallic.
because we do a lot of
Và cái
jobs.
dùng đen này là nó phủ nó che cái giấy thôi.
Yeah.
Còn nguyên cái này là nó in lên thôi, nó không có dùng cái giấy Metallic, nó không có dùng mực Metallic, không dùng mực Metallic, nhưng mà những mực chị thấy nó ánh lên là do giấy.
So down to
Đỡ
it.
tốn tiền mực.
Got it working
Mực nó rẻ
around
hơn.
UV. People print digitally on top of it as well. So most foil can actually take an ink.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, so most of it's made these days because of packaging where they've got to put glue in the flats. Right, so actually
Vậy
you
cái
can
này là in mực
actually do
thường
it and it will
Cái
bind.
này mực thường hoàn toàn trên cái giấy Metallic, nó dùng cái thằng chị thấy đấy nó
Còn nếu mà mình in mực metallic thì nó mới không ánh. Thì nếu mà bình thường hồi xưa
thì
But
phải
I do
in
it
mực
because
Metallic.
the whole
Để
world's that way. I
Metallic
can't
thì
change the
nó
whole
bánh
world.
kim.
No, no, absolutely.
Còn này nó anh chị thấy nó bóng bánh lên là do giấy
But
Metallic.
that's a good alternative.
Cái nền giấy đó là giấy Metallic, thì mình nó kèm với giấy Metallic.
That's the way I would probably do
Giấy
it.
Metallic là cái giấy nó bạc lên về cái giấy.
Nếu hiểu giấy metallic.
Yes, well, young coatings would be interesting. We've never done it, so I can't say we can do it, but there's no reason why theoretically you can't. But I need to, first thing you need to do is block the layer, then put the foil, then put a spot UV over the top of it, maybe, or then
Nó rẻ hơn rất là nhiều á.
because once you print it, it's so accurately registered. If you put it back through a machine, you can then lock it
Mực
with the
Metallic
spot
mắc,
UV.
mực Metallic mắc,
So you've got no rub,
mực Metallic mắc với là khó
nothing on the
hơn.
road. No, it's so hard when you trap foil, ink, spot UV. Be interested. The only thing I challenge is UV, ink, and then Scodix UV on top. You probably have to get a right mix though. But it's so many applications that we know.
So many permutations and combinations.
Loads.
Have you tried on the HUV ink?
Yeah, well, that's what we're saying. There are some UV inks we know it works with, and there's some UV ink that it doesn't work.
Okay, have you tried? Do you have any experience that you tried with the HUV ink?
Yeah.
It works?
Yeah. I mean, so there are a recommended list, and that grows all the time. Everywhere in the world, I get a different product, and they go, "Does this work?" No, I don't know. But we'll test, you know, and it is what it is. And if it doesn't work, there is UV inks that do work. There's UV coatings that do work as well. But we keep developing it. It's never ending, you know, because somebody invents something somewhere, and then we've got to do something else with our technology as well. But it's all the time, it just rolls, you know. So, right.
You have a lot of variables to work on.
Yes, sir.
इमेज और वेक्टर दो हैं, मिक्स है। ये पूरा इमेज है और उसके ऊपर ये पूरा वेक्टर है और इस वेक्टर का पूरा सेपरेशन है। ये सब खेल सेपरेशन का है।
Hello? Wait, can you help me? Thank you.
OK。